Right now, somewhere in America, a 62-year-old just opened a letter from the Social Security Administration. It has a number on it, a monthly number, and it looks fine, reasonable even. She's going to take it. She has no idea that single decision, made in about 4 minutes at a kitchen table without a phone call to anyone, will cost her over $150,000 before she dies. Not because she did anything reckless, not because she gambled it away, because she trusted a number that was designed to look smaller than it should. And she is not alone. Right now, roughly 3 out of every 5 Americans make the exact same call. They don't know it's a mistake. Their friends don't know. Their parents didn't know. And by the time most of them find out, it's too late to undo it. This is the story of the quietest wealth transfer in America. Nobody's stealing this money. It's worse than that. People are handing it away, voluntarily, because of one number the system shows them, and one number it doesn't. Here's what almost nobody tells you at 62. That check you're offered isn't your benefit, it's a discount. Social Security has a real number attached to your name, your full benefit, calculated off your lifetime earnings, payable at what's called your full retirement age. For most people retiring now, that's 67. But you're allowed to claim at 62, 5 years early, and the system will absolutely let you. What it doesn't advertise, not in bold, not in the first paragraph, not in the letter, is the size of the haircut. Claim at 62 instead of 67, and you don't lose a little, you lose 30% permanently. Not for a year, not until you catch up, for the rest of your life. Now sit with that for a second. 30% gone, forever, for the crime of asking 5 years early. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. The system knows exactly how much this costs you. It's actuarially calculated down to the month. The reduction isn't random, it's engineered so that, on average, total lifetime payout is designed to even out. On average. But averages don't pay your rent, and the people making this decision at 62 are rarely thinking in averages. They're thinking about one thing: fear. You'd think this is a mistake made by people who don't understand money. It isn't. Engineers make this mistake. Accountants make this mistake. People who spent 40 years reading spreadsheets for a living sit down at 62 and think exactly one thought: what if I don't live long enough to collect the bigger check? It's not irrational, it's human. There's something called loss aversion, a well-documented pattern in how people weigh risk, and it means the fear of missing out on money you're owed right now feels heavier than the fear of running short later. Later doesn't feel real yet, now does. So people do the math wrong on purpose. They tell themselves a story: I'll take it early and invest the difference, or my family doesn't live long anyway. Or the quietest one, the one nobody says out loud: I just want mine before something changes. But here's the hidden financial truth buried under all of that fear. The break-even point, the age where waiting actually starts paying off compared to claiming early, isn't some distant, unreachable age like 95. For most people, it's around 80. According to current U.S. life expectancy data, a 65-year-old man today can expect to live into his early to mid-80s on average, and a 65-year-old woman even longer, which means for a huge share of retirees, the smart early move quietly becomes the expensive one, and they live long enough to feel every dollar of it. They just never do that math, because nobody hands them that math. They hand them a check. Here's where it gets worse, because claiming early isn't even the whole story. There's a second mistake stacked on top of it, one that barely anyone talks about, because it doesn't happen at the moment you claim. It happens years later, quietly, on your tax return. It's sometimes called the tax torpedo. Most people assume Social Security is simple. You paid in, now you get it back. tax-free because you already paid tax on those wages once. That used to be closer to true. Not anymore. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can be taxed depending on your combined income from pensions, part-time work, or retirement account withdrawals. And here's the detail that should genuinely unsettle you. The income thresholds that determine this haven't been updated for inflation since 1984. Not adjusted, not raised, frozen for over 4 decades. Which means a threshold that used to apply only to the wealthiest retirees now quietly pulls in ordinary middle-class households, people who worked regular jobs, saved a modest retirement account, and now find a chunk of their already taxed benefit taxed a second time. Nobody sends a warning letter about this. There's no red flag. You just find out during tax season when the number on your return is bigger than you expected, and by then, the withdrawal that triggered it already happened. So, if claiming early is a trap and taxes quietly claw more back, what's the actual smart move? Here's the part that feels almost too simple to be true. For every year you delay claiming past your full retirement age, up to age 70, your benefit doesn't just stay flat, it grows by roughly 8% a year, guaranteed, regardless of what the stock market does, regardless of interest rates, regardless of inflation headlines. Name one other place in the entire financial system right now where you can get a guaranteed 8% annual return backed by the federal government with zero market risk. You can't. That instrument doesn't exist anywhere else, and yet the majority of Americans walk straight past it because it's disguised as waiting, and waiting feels like losing, even when the math says the opposite. Delay from 62 to 70, and your monthly benefit can be more than 75% higher than if you'd claimed the moment you were eligible. Not a rounding error, not a marginal improvement, a fundamentally different retirement. But almost nobody frames it that way when you're sitting at that kitchen table. They frame it as, do you want the money now or later? They never frame it as, are you about to sign away a guaranteed 8% raise every year for the rest of your life? Now here's where the story turns genuinely painful, because there's a group of retirees getting hit from both directions, and almost nobody's telling them. Married couples. Here's the detail buried in Social Security's own rules. When one spouse dies, the surviving spouse doesn't get both checks. They get the larger of the two. The smaller one simply disappears. Which means if the higher-earning spouse claimed early to get money in the door sooner, they didn't just shrink their own check. They shrunk the check their spouse may be living on alone, possibly for another 10, 15, 20 years after they're gone. One quick decision at 62, made to feel a little more secure in the short term, can quietly reduce a widow's income for the rest of her life. Nobody explains this at the moment of the decision. It's not hidden maliciously, it's just never surfaced because the form doesn't ask, do you have a spouse who might outlive you by 2 decades? It just asks when you want to start. So why doesn't this get fixed? Why does this keep happening generation after generation? Because every part of this system is technically transparent. All of this information, the reduction percentages, the delayed credits, the tax thresholds, it's publicly available. None of it is a secret in the legal sense. But transparency isn't the same as clarity. The system tells you the truth in 100 scattered documents written in the driest possible language at the exact moment in life when people are the most anxious, the most tired of paperwork, and the most eager for the process to just be over. Confusion, at scale, over decades, quietly moves an enormous amount of money away from the people it was meant to protect, not through fraud, but through friction, through the simple fact that understanding your options takes effort and claiming early takes none. That's the quiet part. Nobody has to trick you. The system just has to stay complicated enough that you trick yourself. So here's the real question this leaves you with. If a guaranteed, government-backed 8% annual return sat in front of you, one most of the financial world would kill to offer their clients, would you really walk past it because a form made it easy to say yes to something smaller? That 62-year-old at her kitchen table isn't foolish. She's doing what the system quietly nudges almost everyone to do. Take comfort now over clarity later. The people who come out ahead aren't the ones with more money. They're the ones who took one extra hour before signing anything to ask the only question that actually matters. Not what can I get today, but what does this decision cost me in 20 years? Because in this system, the mistake isn't loud, it isn't a scandal, it isn't a scam. It's a signature, quiet, polite, and completely irreversible.
If this video is helpful to you, please like and subscribe to encourage us to make more videos like this.